This is the Carty Method Podcast.
All right. Let's get into it. I can't wait to start. I can't wait to talk to you people. Welcome. I'm Steve Carty, by the way. I'm a professional photographer. I've been a pro shooter since 1990, which makes it 35 years, which is insane when I think about it. I've photographed lots of people that, you can see my work at stevecarty.com. You can follow me on all the socials at Steve Carty. You are watching Portfolio Lab. Every Thursday, I do photo reviews, essentially, for photographers who are part of Portfolio Lab. They've gone to thecartymethod.com/Portfolio Lab and signed up. And I give assignments, pro-level assignments, and my goal is to help the photographers that are participating in Portfolio Lab create the level of work that is worthy of being in an advertisement, worthy of being in a magazine, worthy of being a campaign. I like to think that I help photographers shoot the level of work that is worthy of being paid for. So, the sunglasses bother you. I'm sorry. I'm a little light sensitive. But every once in a while, I like to wear I won't wear these the whole time, but they're brand new. And I don't know. I think for a photographer, the one thing that's worthy of you spending money on is eye protection. And as a photographer, the one thing that adds dimension to any outfit that you're wearing is eyewear. Now, if you wear glasses, I wear glasses. I wear contact lenses so I can wear sunglasses. I've been wearing contact lenses since I was 17 years old. So if you wear glasses, prescription eyewear, prescription sunglasses is the next option. But know that our role as a photographer is to protect our eyes. Our eyes is our livelihood. So if you're going to spend money, don't buy cheap sunglasses because it doesn't read well for clients. And clients, if you're with them enough, they're going to see you in your dope sunglasses. Imagine you could be wearing a $5 t-shirt, a pair of jeans, and $50 Converse, and then have a nice pair of sunglasses on, and suddenly you have an outfit. So, I collect them. I collect sunglasses, meaning. So every week, that is a week where I'm giving you a pro level assignment, which is kind of like every other week. I like to challenge the members of Portfolio Lab. This particular assignment is no different. What I'm asking for and what I asked for the photographers who's submitting this week is minimalism. I asked for a minimalist image within your niche. Cue smoke. This shows how exciting this show is. Actual smoke. I build a little fire and then that fire cues. You can see the coals for my fire right back here. Anyways, minimalism. I wanted you to create a vertical image that uses clean lines, negative space, and limited color palette to express the power of simplicity. Simplicity is what I wanted you to show that you could execute today. So, I'm excited to see your take on simplicity. Now I'm going to tell you, we have 18 photographers that have submitted. If you submitted today, congratulations. Good for you on the consistency. You're already a winner for submitting. We're going to start with our first photographer. Her name is Jessica Mendez. Jessica shot this with a Nikon Z9 with a 105. Shot this at f11, ISO 125 at 100th of a second. Shot with a single Godox strobe. This is Jessica Mendez' take on minimalism. Jessica Mendez. Jessica's take on minimalism. Jessica, this is a yes. This is a yes. Look at my face. Like, this hits. And Jessica, I'm very, very proud of you. Like, what's clear to me is you get it. And the way that I like to say is, at some point along the way where people are watching me or people are in Portfolio Lab or Pro Lab, like, something happens where they start to see the matrix. And I can feel that Jessica is starting to see the matrix. Jessica, this is a yes all day long. This is a yes all day long. You 100% get it. Let's look at this as a cover. It frames very well as a cover. You have good distance here. You have good distance here. You chose the right glass. I like how you're shooting on top of the glass, so the glass is kind of stacked. Obviously, the wine glass looks like this, and then there's like a bottom. But because you're shooting down on it, it's like you're hiding the stem and you just see this part that's sticking out. Like, that's all clever. This accent is great. The color's great. And the non-distracting, super minimalist background where you have all kinds of places to put stuff if necessary, but also works as just a simple image on Instagram. And you shot this so clean, Miss Jessica, is if you see the distance through here, the top of your frame, and down here, and then here, and here, this now is completely balanced when this, and by the way, the cut line is here. Like, it's completely balanced when this now goes to an 8x10 to Instagram. Like, you murdered this. This is a yes, 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 11 out of 10. Yes, yes, Jessica. Jessica, so much so.
Yes or yes?
Smoke. Wait, smoke. Yes. Jessica, that good. If you're a member of my channel, you get special privileges. Like, you not really like privileges. Well, yeah, they are privileges, but you get to, like, if you're watching me live, there's commands that you can type into chat that, like, do stuff, which is, like, kind of cool. This is live, and what I want you to understand is all of this stuff that I'm doing and controlling live, which for me is super fun. It makes me being in front of the camera a little bit less anxiety inducing, and also me allowing my viewers to screenshot me, or like do like me allowing my viewers to do that kind of stuff, or call on Taylor Swift and like this kind of stuff, just like makes it a little bit more interesting, I think, for viewers to watch. And I also believe that there's no photographer who's doing like what I'm doing right now on YouTube, you know, and it's like, it just makes this whole endeavor like a lot more fun. Honestly, it really does. All right, let's get into our next photographer. Who's on deck? This is Zandon DeWall. This doesn't want to run today. We'll try this one. We'll try one more time. Zandon DeWall is new. Zandon shot this with an R5 with the 7200, f4, a 200th of a second, shot at ISO 125, shot natural light. This is Zandon DeWall. Zandon, thanks for submitting. So Zandon, there's a couple of things here. First of all, you're really going crazy in post-production as far as sliders, and you're giving me this like half black and white, like half color kind of thing. Like the techniques that you're doing right now here are techniques from 20 years ago when Photoshop was first invented. So, and also we talked about taking pictures versus making pictures. This is taking pictures, and I'm trying to evolve you into the point where you're making pictures, which is not pointing your camera at things that you see, but having an idea for a photograph and then executing. So this photo, if you're trying to shoot wildlife, like you have to look at what National Geographic looks like right now, and you'll notice it's not heavily filtered. It's not half black and white and half color. Like it's very, you have to commit. And I think newer photographers like just do techniques, and it's just, for me, that it's a hard photograph for me to judge because I talked to you on Tuesday, and I really feel like gave you like a whole new sense of the kind of work that you should be making. This one, as far as minimalism, like again, this misses because this is not an idea executed. This is, you're trying to take a photo and fit it into this assignment, which never really works too well. So, for me, Xander, let me get your Zandon. In order to get, like, I want you to try to execute some of the ideas that we talked about Tuesday. This for me is like okay, but what you're doing in post is like really taking away from it. There's also an exposure thing, like back here is quite gray. Quite gray. So there's like a contrast thing, and again, this like desaturation and then partial saturation here is like, it throws off the whole image because it's not what looks like stuff in magazines right now. Anyways, Zandon, I want you to submit some portraits and some people photography, and I know you're here to learn. This is a tricky one because, again, the assignment was minimalism within your niche, and this isn't quite your niche yet, and it's not real, as you'll see with some of the other photos, it's not quite minimalism yet. Zandon, thanks for submitting. All right, on to Lakashka. Lashika, that's what it is. It's Lashika Lee. Lashika Lee's first attempt. Lashika shooting with a Canon 5000 with an 18-55, shot at 55 millimeters. F4, 1/80th of a second with auto ISO. Lashika, I'm worried. Lashika, brand new. Let's have a look at Lashika Lee. Lashika, thanks for submitting. So Lashika, again, as I've said earlier today, there's taking pictures and then there's making pictures. The difference is nobody gets paid for taking pictures. Nobody. Exactly 0 people. People only get paid for making pictures. So this thing that you saw in this parquet or wherever it is that you photographed, like, it's hard to hear, but you need to hear it. It's hard to hear, but you need to hear it. I'm going to say it a third time. It's hard to hear, but you need to hear it. Photographs that you see, oh, that would be a cool picture, and take, only you're interested in. You're the only person that this is for. So when you look at this photo, you have to think to yourself, if someone was to look at the, who would hire me to make this photograph? Who would hire me to shoot another photograph? Like, there's no client. There's no reason. This is just like, I saw that click. So my ask for this was a niche specific minimalist image that lets me know exactly what you shoot based on that photo, which is not walking around and just taking photos. Like, and again, I'll explain it this way. There's 3 levels of photography. Okay, there's 3 levels. There we go. Okay, so there's 3 levels of photography. Level 1 is shooting what you see. Okay, that's level 1. People buy a camera, they have a camera, they're like, oh, tree, bird, car, stroller, like, they just shoot what they see. Okay, which, how much money you get paid for doing that is 0. And how much practice you get making photographs that people actually would pay for is also 0. Level 2 is executing ideas for yourself. Oops. Executing ideas for yourself, meaning I just got a brand new pair of Nikes. I'm going to practice product photography and see if I can shoot these Nikes as well as Nike would for an ad. Well, now the photograph is of a viable product that is a desirable product that people want, that is often photographed, and people are on the internet searching for photographs of these shoes. And Nike, although they're not a client, they are one of the world's biggest athletic brands. So you come up with an idea, meaning a pretend client like Nike, and then you build work as if Nike hired you. And a lot of photographers stay in this realm of executing ideas for themselves until they have critical mass, which is they're niched. They're shooting one specific thing, trying to serve one specific need for one specific client type. And they're executing ideas within that realm for long enough that they get noticed. And then that brings you to level 3, which is executing ideas, for others. So you start making money here. This is where you start making money. when you start executing ideas for yourself. Where you start making real money is when you solve problems and execute ideas for other people. So I have to be very honest and say, this is not enough. And it has nothing to do with, let's say, experience. It has everything to do with the purpose of the photo. When you're going to take a photo, ask yourself, why? Why are you shooting this photo? What's it for? What is it going to do? Is it going to move the needle forward? Or are you just creating noise? So imagine once you know your niche, well, then now you can, once you know your niche, like Sean Thomas came to me saying that he wanted to shoot cars. Well, when you look at this work, there's no question. This is someone else who's in my program. There's no question as to what he shoots and what clients he serves. So when it comes to, this is the difference between taking pictures and making pictures. When you're making pictures, there's a reason and there's a potential client at the end of it. When you're taking pictures, it's just for you. So people find me because they want to learn how to make money with their camera. The first thing you have to do is you have to stop taking pictures and start making them, because this is not going to get you paid. It's also cropped to 8x10, which we don't do when we shoot horizontal. Like, this is 2 pages in a magazine. Like, we have to really understand that everybody and their mother who buys a camera thinks that they're a photographer. Everybody and their mother who has this in their pocket thinks that they're a photographer. And the standards and the level that it takes to make money at this is far. So you have to decide what you want to shoot, Lakeisha, and who would pay you to shoot that. Like, there's got to be a market for, and then make only that work. That's how you get to the point where you're making money. This is a miss. This is a miss because it's not strong enough. It's not good enough. And you can't point your camera at something and call it minimalism. Like, you really have to execute an idea, arrange some stuff, build a set, build a still life. And you don't know what that is if you don't have a niche. So you have to figure out what your niche is, and then you make photographs to fill that niche. And your niche is determined by who would pay you within your specific market. So, and again, fine art, like, you can label photography whatever you want, but it still is not getting you paid. You're still not making any money from it. So this is art and commerce. And you can artify it all you want, but make no money at it. Or you can see how we bring value to potential clients, and that value is worth money. And when we do it right, we can make $100,000 plus per year, but we have to do it right. And we also have to ask ourselves, is this a viable picture? Who is this for? And if you can't think of somebody who cares about that photograph more than you, then you don't make it. All right. Again, it's a hard lesson, but we can't take pictures. We have to execute ideas. We have to execute ideas, and we can't hide just walking around and snapping photos under the moniker of art. It's like cool beans, but nobody cares about your art. We're trying to make it so you're making money at this, and that only comes from you bringing value to potential clients. And if you don't know who your potential clients are, then you're making photos for nobody. So we got to know who your potential clients are. All right, this is Stephen Bordeaux shooting with the R6 Mark II with a 70 to 200, 200th of a second, 4.5 f and ISO 100 shot, natural light with open shade. Stephen Bordeaux. Stephen, thanks for submitting. Stephen, there's something here. Definitely, I like the minimalist background. It's definitely like clean as a cover and minimalist. There's something about her pose that's like the I'm a little teapot, hand on the head, hand on the hip kind of thing. Is like the balance is okay, but it's like the pose dates it. The pose dates it. Like she's wearing like a fitness top that's very, or it's a fashion top that's like sheer. She's got no bra on. But then she's wearing like a bit of a like fast kind of disposable fashion, like pleather kind of bottom. Like this fashion wise is kind of like a $20 bottom. So it's not like for me, when you see that and she pulls it out, I look at her and I'm like, yeah, we're not shooting that. Jeans would be more effective with this top than those bottoms because they're fast fashion. It's fast fashion from the mall, and that's not fashion. And you also have to determine like what this photo's for. Is it a portrait? Is it a fashion image? Is it a headshot? Like, who's the audience for this photo? For me, I can tell that you didn't direct her with the pose. Like she did the pose and you caught it. And it's like, okay, well, she's doing dated poses and you're not correcting her. For me, this photo is like her arms are crossed. She's leaning against the wall and you've cropped it so we see just the bottom of the shirt. So you like have to crop the pants like almost all the way out. And she's kind of laughing, looking off camera. Like you have to make it, when you're shooting pretty girls, you have to make it understated. Like from my perspective, it's like, when you're shooting pretty girls and they're trying, like this girl's trying, you know, it makes it tacky. So if you're photographing them and just letting them do whatever the fuck they want and you're not directing them and being like, take your hand away from your head, take your hand away from your hips, cross your arms, put your hands on your hips, cross your arms behind your back, like adjust your shirt behind you, like shake your hair. Like if you're not directing them in a modern way and you're just letting them do whatever they want, like what ends up happening is you end up getting dated poses. So Steve, this is a good swing, but for me, I honestly believe like the minimalism, yes, I'm giving you props for the minimalism and for the girl, but again, it's like where we're losing is those pants. You have to be able to look at those pants and be like, no, we're not wearing those. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much they love them. Be like, do you have just like plan? And also before you're even doing the shoot, you're texting back and forth and being like, send me your outfits. So you can pick the outfits before shoot day. Because if you don't choose them until shoot day, then you just get what you get. And sadly, getting what you get is usually, pretty whack. So you have to kind of like push your model. Like for me, this shot, here, let me see if I can frame it properly. This shot kind of there, but without her hands doing, now it focuses more on the like the see-through titties and it like just makes it like a little bit more sexy, and then focus on her rather than projecting that way. have her turn this way and project to you. Because again, she's giving you this coy side look because her body is projecting that way, which is out of the frame, meaning she wants to get away from you. So you need to correct that and square her up so she's projecting to viewer. I hope that helps you, Steve. This is like, again, a good swing, but you also have to remember I've been helping you for a couple of years and I know where your level is with your photography. I know where your level is. So because of that, Steve, and when I look at this, I ask, is this stronger than this? And I ask you, is this stronger than this? And like it you have so much more work that's not in here, Steve. But once you sort of set a bar like this, once you set a bar, and again, the fashion here is so on point that this shot works from head to toe, but the fashion is not on point below the waist here. So all things that you have to think about. I'm glad you are back, Mr. Stephen Bordeaux. Steve, thanks for submitting. Again, you nailed it with the minimalism, my guy. You nailed it with the minimalism, but again, like, my expectations for you are just high. That's all. My expectations for you are high. Like, I believe in you, and I think that you're a killer shooter. So, as I by the way, if you've never seen Portfolio Lab before, like, I judge these photographers against themselves. I judge them against themselves. So if they prove that they can do this level, if now they submit something that's here, it's my job to show them the difference in the levels. All right, let's get into our next shooter. This is Mike Walls. Mike shooting with an R6 Mark II 100 millimeter, shot at f8, 600th of a second at 1/60th of a second. This is Mike Walls. Mike, thanks for submitting. Mike, this is clean. It's a little claustrophobic. It's a little close, and like, you cared more about the top of his head than like the top of his hat than the bottom of his beard. So seeing how this now looks as a cover, you have like this picture cuts here, because we all can imagine what the rest of a baseball cap looks like. We can all imagine that, but cropping this close to his chin, like, that's claustrophobic. And then I want you to look at when it goes to 8x10, well, that's really claustrophobic. And I want you to look at how close the edge of the ears are on that side and how close they are here. Like, I understand the idea of the photo, but you're too close. You have to back up so you're not clipping or almost clipping if you go to print. You have to be looser with your framing. My idea with, say, this photo would be like, you're that loose, so you have a bit of room on either side, and there's also, it's cropped here tighter, and there's more room for the top of his shirt and of course the bottom of his chin. So I understand the idea, the minimalism. Again, I also understand. Let's hide that. Let's go back to 100%. Close that. Back to 100%. So, like, light-wise, also, you're trying to do the Rembrandt light. I see where your light is placed here. Light travels in straight lines. So, I go to the center of his nose, and I draw from here, and then I go here, and I can see exactly where your light is placed. And if you look at this highlight and go to the center of his eyeballs, you'll see that that's also at the same angle. It's at the same angle that is. So I see exactly where your light is placed based on light traveling in straight lines and watching this shadow. But you see this highlight in here, that highlight needs to go away. And how we make that highlight go away is that this line comes in at a harder angle. And also it's a little, sorry, let me turn that off. It's a little bit this way. We're starting to get like a hard shadow here from the edge of his nose, and we're starting to shadow in here and shadow in here. So your Rembrandt, you're pushing a little bit behind. It's more about skying. You got to just make that light a little bit higher. His head is also a little bit up. Hey, Kimberly, thanks for subscribing. This is for you. Right there, Kimberly, all that smoke. Look, beautiful pink smoke for you. All of that for you. All right. Stop it with the smoke. I have like a whole camera crew back here helping me. All right. So what we're trying to do is when we're shooting a subject, this is what a subject is going to do naturally. And I want you to watch my face. This is what a subject is going to do naturally. Every single subject that you point a camera at, they're going to go like this. They're going to do that. They're going to pull back. And what that does is it gives every single person a double chin. And if you don't correct that, and how I correct it is pretend there's a table here. Now extend your chin and put your chin on the table. Now take your hand away. And now that head angle looks like this. And it's way more striking on camera than every man that you train a camera on pulls their head back. So this is one thing that I'm seeing right away is that he's pulling his head back. The second thing is where you're placing the light. We're trying to place the light higher. So you're blocking out that highlight right there. That comes from the light coming in. Sorry, I don't have a straight line on, but it comes in from the light coming in on a harder angle. It's got to come in a little bit harder, which means you need to sky the light a little bit. And all of this stuff is stuff that I want you to lock in when you're shooting. Like you actually see, oh, there's a little pocket of light. That means I need to sky the light. And also he's pulling his head back. He needs to like extend out instead of do that because it just is not flattering. Okay. Good swing for the minimalism, but it's just a little bit as to like how we're putting this frame together, and how close this frame is. This is the stuff that it like makes or breaks pro photographers. And this is the stuff that I want to point out to all 74 of you. You see, I turned dyslexic after brain surgery. I sometimes mix up things. It's 74 people watching right now, and I said 40 is how I started. This is Sonny Warren shooting with the Sony A5 Mark II with a 50 millimeter, 4.5, 200th of a second, ISO 100, shot with a single Godox and a white bounce. This is Sonny Warren. Sonny, thanks for submitting. This is really pretty, Sonny. This is really pretty. Like, I like the black on black. It's super clean. It's super clean. Let's look at it as a cover. It's super clean. She's a little low in the horizon, meaning like you're giving a little bit too much headspace up and down here. It's a little bit too much headspace. Let's look at what it looks like as an 8x10. Good room on the shoulders. This like makes me happy. I like the expression. Still, I want this not like you're putting her, sorry, hide that. Not like you're putting her in the center of the frame, which is very much like what you're doing. This isn't how we compose. Like, push her higher in the horizon, because again, you're wasting a lot of sensor. So punch in, go a little bit closer. Speaking of punching in, I just want to have a look at her eyes here. She's got red eye, meaning she was either burning weed 10 minutes ago, or she's sensitive to smoke or her eyes are red. She needs Visine. And the hard thing is like, you can't hide anything from me. And I'm not your client. I'm just your competition. I'm just another photographer who's been in this game for a long time. So of course I'm going to look at your photo at 100%. And then when I look at your photo at 100%, of course I'm going to notice the redness in her eyes here, 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 and here. I'm going to notice that redness. So like, that alone takes this great photo and like, now I can't use it because redness in the eyes is like really difficult to pull out unless you're an expert and you can do that. Like, you can make it black and white, and then again, it makes it really difficult to do and make it look like you haven't done anything. But she's got redness in the eyes. This is my only issue, Sonny. This is an 11. This is a really strong picture. But you need to also see the trick, how you make that redness go away, is you clone the layer and then just like mask off her eyes so you're seeing her eyes only, and then make her eyes black and white, and then just like erase around so you reveal the color part and keep the part that's red right now black and white, and then now it's a neutral color, which is grayish, which is what her eyes would be naturally. And then you can play with the punch there to give it a little bit more brightness. But again, yes, Sonny, this is an 11. It's a strong image, but again, I want you to see the things that I noticed. Where you're dropping her head, you're dropping her right in the center of the frame, push her up, and also those small details. Like, you're there shooting. It's your responsibility to catch that stuff while you're shooting it. It's your responsibility to catch that. It's not my responsibility to catch it when you submit it. You got to see that stuff as you're shooting it. You got to look again when you're in post-production. Like, you have all these opportunities to catch your mistakes. Hanging out with me, you'll notice, raises your bar, because I see stuff that you don't see. But I look at your work like an art director, like a designer, like a client. All right, let's look at this. If being on camera or speaking in front of people makes you nervous, this challenge is for you. It's called the 30-Day On-Camera Challenge, and I designed it to help you show up with confidence, whether you're recording a video, giving a presentation, or leading a meeting in real life. Every day via email, you're going to get a clear, simple prompt that helps you get more comfortable speaking out loud while building real communication skills that you can use anywhere. Now, I promise you, this isn't just for YouTubers or content creators. It's for anyone that wants to show up more clearly, communicate with confidence, and leave a lasting impression in person or on camera. If you're ready to feel more in control, express yourself with confidence, and learn how to present in a way that feels true to you, start your 30-Day On-Camera Challenge today. All you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com/tools and pick up my 30-Day On-Camera Challenge. Let's get to work. All right, next on the docket is Natalie Bennett. She shot with the 5D Mark IV with a 135 millimeter shot at 3.2 at 1,000th of a second, f3.2 at ISO 500. This is shot natural light. This is Natalie Bennett. Natalie, thanks for submitting. So Natalie, this is a vibe. I definitely am seeing something here. Let's look at this as a cover. It's framed well. It has like a good sensibility. Like I like the 135. The small things that I'm seeing, first off, is skin. So I'm seeing like this here, this hair here, like this stuff, which can be easily retouched out. This little spot here on her chin. I'm seeing here what you're doing with the lip line, and I'm seeing that this lip line is going squiggly, squiggly, and squiggly, like, and then is blurred up here. Like, you definitely can't hide anything from me. Like, you're doing bad post here. Like, you can see this, and I'm going to make it bigger for everybody to see. Okay, we can't clean up lips because it looks really fake. You see these veins here, you see the shadow, like it ends up looking really fake. And so much so that after going like, and you can see how straight this line is, it's like jiggy, 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 jiggy. And then you go up here and then you just decide that you're gonna blur her lips. And then you just blur across the top, and then weirdness down here, and then continue to blur. And then like what's happening over here and down here and over here. So know this, if I'm a beauty company or I'm a makeup brand where skin is my business, this line, like these little flecks of mascara, I'm a straight guy and I know that that's flecks of mascara. Here. There's also a hair coming down here right through her eyes and another one coming across right through here and another fleck of mascara. So this eyelash, this little blip, like as a photographer, it's our role to notice that kind of stuff and fix it and not let the client ever see it. For me, like, again, pretty shot, but you're focusing on the lips, which again, you got to get way better at your post-production because you're really missing the boat and trying to cut corners. And I keep showing you that you can't cut corners because I see what you do every single time. So again, it's a good swing. It's minimalist. It's a very pretty image, but it doesn't hold up when I look at it under a fine-tooth comb. And I need you to like be looking at your work with the same level of detail that I am. Again, remember, I'm just your competition. I'm just somebody who's trying to help you see your work how a client would see your work. And again, they're not going to tell you. They're just going to not hire you again. And they're going to be like, yeah, that last photographer, they didn't really pay too much attention to details. I need someone who's going to notice like when my this is this and then like fix it, you know? So this is Nakumba Booker Jr. This shooting with Canon M50 with a 24-70 shot at 41 millimeter, f4, 100th of a second at ISO 800 shot, continuous light. This is Nakumba Booker Jr. Nakumba, thanks for submitting. So technically there's a couple of things here. Like, first of all, the pose, the head angle, the way that she's turning, like it all makes it like you're working against her here by putting her sideways and then having her look at you sideways. You get a wicked double chin here, you get another double chin here, and you're getting creases here, all because she's not looking straight where you can align her face and angle her. You have her head back, which is just going to reveal double chin. So shooting girls, especially girls that aren't thin, from the side is always like you're putting yourself into a situation that is hard work. Shoot straight on, so you can control the head angle, extend the chin out, and hide the double chin with head angle. Losing a little bit of detail in the hair here because of the backlighting. I mean, minimalism for me, Nakumba, like, you jump around a little bit when it comes to who you're shooting. I don't understand, again, who the client is or what this is like for. If I look at your site and I pull up your work, right? And then I open this photo and then I look at this photo. Is this the same photographer, bro? Is, like, ask yourself, is this photo better than, this photo better than this photo? I'm going to let you guys at home answer. And I'm going to show other photos from Nakumba and this photo. Is this photo stronger than this photo? And then I'm going to show this photo and say, is this photo stronger than this photo? As far as side angle shots that you're shooting of people, which one's stronger? Because it's basically the same photo. So you're competing against yourself, Nakumba. You're not competing against me. The work that you're making is competing against you. You're competing against yourself when it comes to this work. And like, for me, who you choose to shoot, and I look through your portfolio and it's all like kind of wannabe pretty girls, which, again, cool, but they have no money and they're not going to pay you any money because they don't have any. Like, you haven't shifted to focusing on serving clients, and you have to. But you also, like, looking at an image like this and then looking at an image like this, like, is this going in your portfolio next to this picture? Like, I don't think that this is good enough to be in your portfolio. It's not strong enough. It's just simple. It's not strong enough. Like, if this is your work, this isn't strong enough. And also, you have to be scrutinous as far as who you can shoot whoever you want, but as far as who goes in your portfolio, you're trying to have a certain kind of a level of a person in your portfolio. So it makes you more desirable and you more unattainable and you more hireable. If your portfolio, people look at your portfolio and they're like, damn, that comes from the people who are in your book. So for me, this photo is not, it doesn't cut it. It's not good enough, Nakumba. All right, my guy. Next we go. And again, I'm honest engine, as straight as they come. This is Roberto Carlos. Roberto shooting with an R8 with an 85 millimeter f 5.6 at a 60th of a second at 400 ISO. Shot with a single light. This is Roberto Carlos. Roberto, thanks for submitting. Roberto, this is an honest, likable picture. There's some exposure issues. Your light is too close, bro. Like, I can see your light and I can see how close your light is in your highlights. Like, your light is like 4 feet away. And because of that, it makes the contrast between the shadow side and the highlight side radical. So in order to make like this transition between the light side and the dark side more gentle, your light can't be here. You have to move your light further away so this transition is a little bit more gentle. Overall, this is amazing. This is the difference between taking pictures and making pictures. This is making a photo. I have an idea. It's shooting a portrait of my dad. What's the idea? Okay, I'm going to shoot on a gray background. It's going to be black and white. He's going to wear a gray hoodie. It's going to be like a gray on gray. I'm going to light him with one light and try to do like a little bit of a Rembrandt thing. Like, there is an idea behind this photo, and this is the execution. So this photographer is in level 2. This photographer is executing ideas for themselves and is building a look and feel to what that looks like over time in a portfolio. So Roberto Carlos, this is a yes. I'm giving you an 11 out of 10 here. This is a yes. Watch this exposure. This exposure is too hot in here. It's plus, I'm going to call it a third of a stop. Watch your exposure. And I'm not sure if you have a light meter. You might not have a light meter. You might be like just lighting and taking pictures and looking on the sensor and being like, that looks okay. So if you don't have a light meter, then you're not getting a true reading, which is also why your stuff will be underexposed or overexposed, because you don't have the experience to shoot with no meter yet. So, especially when you're shooting studio strobes, you really need to nail the exposure. Again, really good swing, and I gave you an 11 out of 10. Guys, that was Mr. Roberto Carlos. Everybody. Roberto Carlos, well done. All right, on to... I have this thing that I do called ProLab. ProLab members, I'm helping them twofold. Number one, I'm helping them develop their portfolio inside Portfolio Lab, but I'm also helping them develop their business inside the Carty method. I'm helping them understand the 6 phases necessary in order to go from making no money to making a full-time living with your camera. So everybody that we're about to look at until the end of the show now are all ProLab members. So I'm a little harder on them. They have a little bit more of an understanding as to the kind of work they should be making. This is Jim Sinicki, shot with a Sony A7 IV with a 50 millimeter f8 ISO 100 at a 200th of a second. Sorry, ISO 100 at a 200th of a second. Yeah, shot with a single newer Q4 strobe. This is Jim Sinicki. Jim is starting to fly. Jim, you're giving me a lot of black and white, my guy. I want you to like not be locked into the black and white. I like this sensibility. I like this light. You just have to watch it because it starts to feel a little country, a little dated. And that's sort of like a little bit in the pose and a little bit in the head angle. So for me, I want you to like where you need to look is Vanity Fair. You need to look at Vanity Fair portraits. And just to do a little example, I'll show you. And also so much on the black and white, like you got to get off the black and white a little bit. But Vanity Fair portraits, I want you to look at this as an idea. This is like a room that they set up to shoot Oscar pictures. This is all Vanity Fair photography. I want you to look at this photograph. Like the whole idea is the poses and the locations. Like we're really trying to bend it. You got to look at Vanity Fair. You got to look at Vogue. You got to look at, because again, it kind of cues you on poses and sensibilities. So we're not doing stuff that is dated. We're doing stuff that's like a little bit more right now. So that's my only suggestion, Jim, is the next thing is that we're trying to like be inspired by other magazine editorial shooters. Look at Mark Seliger. And also do not lock into the black and white as one of the things like I do black and white. It's like, bro, no one fucking cares. No one hires black and white photographers. Sometimes you'll get hired and sometimes there'll be an idea that warrants black and white. But let me show you the work of Jeff Lipsky. And as we fly through his overview, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1 black and white image. And you see a whole bunch more color to 1 black and white image. And then you see a whole bunch more color to 1 black and white image. And then you see a whole bunch more color to 1 black and white image. So you have to be the photographer that can shoot this as well as the photographer who can shoot this. You have to and you have to understand that everybody can shoot this. So don't make black and white a novelty. And also when you look at photographers like this, look at this pose, look at her pose, right? Look at this pose and look at this pose. Like you can see this is like super conservative and like pulled back. And this is like super extroverted and fun. Which one of these girls do you want to be around? Which one of these two girls do you want to be around? Obviously you want to be around this girl because she looks like she's more fun. So that's what we have to bring up and bring out of our subjects. We can never let our subjects do what they want to do because it's always going to be wrong. We have to come to them with a reference. And if you have photographers that you're watching, well, now you end up having a great folder of references. So you can look at poses like this and think, wow, I could have taken this into a whole other realm of pose just by flipping it a little. And again, that comes from looking at more photography. But Jim, this is a really good swing. Very good swing. I'm giving you love. Remember, you set your bar with that photo I freaked out over last week. This is Levi Wells. Again, this is a good one, Jim. You're very close. I want to see that picture in color. I want to see a harder pose. I want to see you trying a little bit to like define like the new Jim. All right, this is Levi Wells. Levi shoots with a Sony A6600. 18 to 35. He shot this at 24 millimeter, f11, 100th of a second at ISO 100. Shot with 1 Godox. This is Levi Wells. Minimalism. Levi. Okay. Like, I see what you're doing. For me, it's not minimalist. The brown kind of takes me out of it. I want to see, if I have these white plates, I want to see a white on white. This is propping with the forks, propping with the like sugar duster. Like it's just, and then the dust on the table, like you're overdoing it. Like this picture is one of these on seamless with like top down, just white as the background and possibly this reflection, or it's just this with this reflection, like it's a white on white. To me, this is not minimalism. This is you just shooting how you usually shoot. And again, the whole idea is I'm trying to take you into another realm when it comes to your your product photography. If we look at a photographer like Scott Cicchino for minimalism, like, look at this. It's just product and color. And the color of the product is the same as the color of the background and the foreground. When we think about minimalism, we think about monochromatic. We think about like making the tones the same so it fits like and looks like, again, minimalist. When we're thinking about minimalism, we're thinking about this. Thinking about minimalism, we're thinking about this. So for me, and how good I know that you're going to be, I want you to look at the kind of photography that I'm showing you now. And like I'm telling you, like, this you could have gone further with by removing elements. You're adding too many elements in an assignment that's about moving elements away. You did the same frame. And in fact, I've seen this frame, like you're repeating this frame like a couple of different times. So now it's like, I need a new drug from you. I need another perspective from you. Show me that you're not just a one-trick pony with like one angle and like two main things and then like three things around it. Like, you've made this photo before. So, show me what you're going to do now, Levi, for an encore. This for me is not minimalism. This one is, I don't know. I feel this feels rushed for me. All right, this is Donna Cranshaw shooting with a Canon RP 100mm macro, ISO 100, shot at f32 at a 1/25th of a second, shot with a single strobe. This is Donna Cranshaw. Donna, this is close. This is close for minimalism. For me, it's just like the set, the light. You're using multiple lights from the front. I can see because you have one light going in that direction that's darker, going in that direction. And then you have another light down here that's a different color that's going in a different direction. So you're using two front lights, which there's only one sun. So there's no instance ever where two front lights work. And when we're looking at the product itself, when we're looking at the angle at which this product is coming up against that wall, that's crooked, which means this base across here is also kind of crooked. So when we're shooting, like, we need to use hard light. It has to be, it can't be soft light. It has to be hard light, which is undiffused. So, and it has to be one light. So this shadow is really deliberate. And then when we're looking at the edge here, the edge, when we're looking at the edge and how we're losing the edge of the product here and here, and the focus in here and in here, it's just, you're shooting at too shallow a depth of field. So for me, it's a bit of a miss. It's a bit of a miss. Just, again, it's like when you're shooting a picture like this, you really have to go from reference and you have to get as close as you can to the reference. And I'm going to do a little search for Fendi skin, and then I'm going to look at images of Fendi skin. Remember the first thing that I said was hard light? Like, I think that was the first thing that I said was hard light, meaning undiffused light, so you have a hard shadow. Look at how it is on the Fendi website. And then look here how yours is. Notice how the Fendi light was going, this direction, and then your light's going in that direction. So if Fendi is the one that you want to grab their attention, you have to be looking at this stuff and noticing, wow, when they're shooting their single product, the light goes that way. The light goes that way, and it comes in on that angle, and it's also hard light. And then when you look at product on figure, it's also hard light. So we have to do research when we're trying to shoot. And also, well, we're looking at this, and this is also hard light. So when we're making photos like this, we have to have a reference as to what we're trying to imitate. And if we go back to here and then just say images, like we have to have an idea that we're, because here's this product right here in a family of other products. So here's the product, and a variation of the product. Like we have to look at all the different ways that this is shot, and the ones that are the most interesting become ones that we're like, okay, I'm going to try to do something. And again, notice the hard light. Notice the hard light. Like that's so important, that that's something that this brand does, is they use hard light. So if you're now shooting and you're using soft light, well, then you're doing the wrong thing. So Donna, good swing, but this is all research. If you have the product, Google the product, see what other photographers have done with the product, and look at the absolute coolest ones and start there. When you pull ideas from your own head, sometimes we miss. And if you're not doing stuff that's on brand, well, then the brand is going to be like, this photographer doesn't even know what our stuff looks like, because we don't use soft light. It's all hard light. Why would she send me something that has soft light? So, and again, I'm going to continually show you the examples of like hard light after hard light after hard light after hard light. Like it doesn't stop. It's in every one of their serious photos. That's not user generated content. So, and also the direction of the light when it's coming from the Fenty website. All right, Donna, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you take a picture like this and take it to the next level. There's nothing that I miss. I see everything. I feel like the angle that you're at, you're shooting down on the product, which then means like your lines here can't be straight, and then this line can't be straight, and it ends up just looking sloppy. And then the soft light makes this whole scene, instead of looking like hard and crisp, look a little bit muddy. And we light faces with soft light, usually. Products, hard light. And for me, I light faces with hard light because it makes the shadows look cooler. Get into hard light, Donna. It's going to change your life. That is Donna Cranshaw. Donna, thanks for submitting. All right, next on the docket is Denise Tuggle. Denise is shooting with a Nikon D350 with a 50mm ISO 200 f8 at an 80th of a second, shot with continuous light. This is Denise Tuggle. Denise, thanks for submitting. Denise, this is clean. Same thing that I'm going to say to you with the hard light. I want you to be like, this is some sort of in-between diffusion where it's not quite hard light, not quite soft light. And also where it's placed is not pushing the shadow down and across far enough to make this look dynamic. It's too frontal. And you can see it's too close here and it's too close here. So if this is your table and this is your product, your light is, oh, your product's lying flat. So this is your product. Like, your light is coming in too much from, like, you need to be radical, like move that light that way, move that light that way a little bit. So you're being a little bit more radical with your shadows. And again, go to the ordinary and look at the references. Let's see how you're doing with f-stop. You have to be very specific with f-stop, because if not, you're going to lose focus. Like, you can see you're losing focus in here. You have focus out here on the outers, but you're losing it here. That again just means, instead of, let's just look at your Fs, instead of shooting at f8, shoot at f16. Instead of shooting at ISO 200, shoot at ISO 400. And that'll be able to make it so, yeah, just push a little bit more F into here. This is also a little crooked, spatially between here and here. And then also the line, like if I was to draw a line like this up straight through the product, you can see that it's a little bit, oops, I let go a little early. Let's start here in the center and go to the center and let go. Oops, I let go a little off. But what I'm trying to say is, if you just look at this line and I let go there, if you look at that line, you can see that that line is crooked, and you can see that how the space up here versus the space down here. So like really locking in the placement of this, for me, Denise, this is close. This is close, Denise. It's really nice with the minimalism. I like the single product. Your framing is so close. The 8x10 frame, it's just a little bit skewed that way. It's just a little bit skewed again, and it's just a little bit under, meaning this is feeling a little muddy. And the reason is because you're not using hard light. You need to use hard light, so this feels a little bit more crisp. So this feels a little bit more crispy. So this white feels a little bit more crisp, and it doesn't feel muddy. The muddiness comes from you using soft light or whatever diffusion. Like, it's got to be like flash with just the small 8-inch reflector. Like, that's it. And then you can place it a little bit further. You can place it and you can practice to see where the best placement works. All right, Miss Denise Tuggle, very close, very good for minimalism. Still, there's a couple of mistakes. I feel like you really you're really improving. You're becoming such a killer photographer. Again, as I said earlier today, I judge photographers against themselves. I'm not judging you against me. Yeah, I'm not judging you against me or any of the other photographers here. I'm just judging you against you.
Treat everybody like a superstar. Famous people less like a superstar. I treat famous people like real people. I started as a photographer, I would say professionally, when I was 20. My brother's a fine art painter, heavy influence on me, and I couldn't paint, so when I discovered the camera, it was really easy for me to express myself creatively. Everybody's in the business of glorifying celebrities, so capturing them, it's already glorifying them by photographing them. So if I can get them a little bit more understated, I feel like it brings up the real. In 1997, I shot Tom York from Radiohead, most important picture of my career. In 2001, I shot Pharrell Williams for Peace magazine. Again, very important picture. Colin Firth, a week before he won his Oscar, career moving pictures where that picture propels a whole new wave of clients, a whole new wave of people looking at my work. I think pivotal career changing pictures are more important than favorite pictures, because they're all my favorite. The whole idea is make good stuff and share it and do it every day.
All right, the next amazing photographer up on deck is Mr. James McDonald. James is shooting with a Fuji X-T20 with a 56 millimeter shot at 1/180th of a second, f3.2 and ISO 320 shot. Natural highlight. This is James McDonald. James, thanks for submitting. Yeah, you're onto something here, James. This detail, you're onto something here. Showing you this, what it looks like as a cover. You're onto something here. You're onto something. There's just one small mistake that I'm gonna show you, and once you see it, like, it'll be hard to unsee it. You're aiming down on this hood or trunk, I guess we're gonna say, like this tail section of the car. You're aiming down, but at the same point, you're now showing the angle of where this part is of the car and how this comes in this way. I need, like, so essentially the picture is kind of flipped in. I want to see this come in straight. So that means, like, how you have to now change your position. So that, and again, a little bit more straight than it is. I'm splitting hairs. This is a strong image. I'm going to give you an 11 for this one. But again, it's just this angle that I'm seeing that I want that angle to be corrected. And I want you to be figuring out a way that you can shoot this in order to cut that angle away. And again, it's like, is down here important to this shot? Or would there be something up there that's more important than this exhaust? So this is also like small things when you're shooting details, but overall that's an 11 for me, guys. That is Mr. Jim McDonald. Jim, yes. Again, don't forget, we're trying to build up you shooting people and their whips, people and their cars. I don't want you to drop that ball. All right, that's James McDonald. This is Hal Banfield. Hal, shooting with a Nikon Z9 with a 50 millimeter, shot this at f5, 100th of a second at ISO 80. Shot open shade. This is Hal Banfield on minimalism. Hal, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Couple of small things. Like the centering where he is here versus here, it kind of feels a little bit like he's pushing that way. The distance between his finger here and the edge and the edge of his shirt here, like, it's just a little bit close. I would love to play around with some different head angles. Tonally, I love this yellow. I don't mind this, but I like how, again, minimalism. He's pushing his head up to the wall, and again, that just fucks up his jawline and hit under here because he's trying to, it's like, take his head off the wall and adjust his, like, his shoulders are against the wall. Like, his shoulders are against the wall. He doesn't need to have his shoulders and his head push up against the wall, which that now changes this angle, and it changes the whole angle of his head because he's pushing his head back, which then changes the shape of his face. So again, I'm judging you like this because I know the kind of photographer that you are, Hal. This is strong. It's definitely minimalist. Exposure on him, this is under. And I'm going to call this under by 1/3 of a stop. So I would give this a little bit more exposure. You see my skin versus him, how he feels a little muddy. That muddiness is underexposure. It's when you're using in-camera metering and you're aiming at something that's so bright and then it sees something dark, it's going to just average that. So it's essentially like the camera's seeing so much bright that it's giving you the wrong reading. So you have to recognize that because this is such a white scene, and then also compensate on the back end to bring that exposure back. This is a good swing, but again, Hal, I'm just going to show the class like what your photography looks like. And again, understand that like photos like this photo is competing with this, right? And this photo is competing with this. So which one's stronger, right? So we go through our own work when it comes to minimalism. Look at this photo, and then we look at this photo, and we say, which one's stronger? Which guy looks more confident? And the reason that this guy looks like he's lacking confidence is because he's putting his head on the wall and pulling back rather than projecting forward. So how I judge the integrity of a photograph is I look at other photographs of yours and I ask you, what's stronger, this photo or this photo? You tell me what's stronger. So when it comes to like, we're trying to push, but when we push, we're trying to push into a realm where we're making better photos than the photos that we've made before, not photos that are less. And a photo that is less really stands out when it's in a portfolio. And the other stuff that's in that portfolio looks like this. Like when you have this photo, you ask yourself, this is another guy up against the wall. Well, this guy's head's not against the wall. So you're able to control his jawline, even if his head is up a little bit. So this is another picture of a man against the wall, like which one is stronger. So if you're going to be doing this often, like shooting people up against the wall, you have to have like a head angle, a sensibility, a distance, a lens selection. So you're making a repeatable picture. And again, looking at your portfolio is so strong, but you have to understand when it comes to these pictures, these kinds of pictures take away from these photos. So the only photos that go in our portfolios are the ones that are like the best. So, Hal, for me, this isn't good enough. It's close, but it's not strong enough. You're so much stronger. It's not strong enough. All right, next shooter. We are down to, I would say, our last 4 photos. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is Malik Brand. Malik is shooting with a Sony A7 III with a 50mm ISO 125 at 1/25th of a second at f11. Shot with 3 strobes. This is, let me just move this over to here. This is Malik Brand. Malik, thanks for submitting. So Malik, this is, as far as minimalism, I know that you're shooting, this is part of a lookbook. You're shooting hoodies and yes and no. Like, yes, as far as like, it serves the purpose of this job. It looks good as a cover. It's going to crop well to Instagram. Like, there's no issues as far as the crop. It's just like, this was shot for another purpose. This was shot for a lookbook that you did for a client. You thought, yes, this also, because I shot to white, fits into a minimalist style, so I can submit this for my minimum. It's like, No, I want you to kind of make a minimalist photo. That's not something that you're grabbing from some other shit that you shot. Like, I want you to make the photo, because when you're dealing with clients, you're not going to be able to just pawn off something that you shot for someone else and be like, here, I shot this for some other client. Like, here, you use it. It's like, no, they're going to want something custom tailored and custom shot for them, which is what I asked you for. I asked you to create a minimalist image that proves your niche. You grabbed a lookbook photo, and this is just another edit that I've already seen this shoot. So for me, you're not following the brief. Is this a minimalist shot? Cool. Does this, like, again, it's like, yeah, but you're avoiding making new work, and you're just handing in shit that you did for something else. So for me, it's like, yes, Malik, but at the same point, no. Because again, dude, it's hard doing what we do. It's hard being in the trenches, and stop trying to make, when it comes to ideas and execution, stop trying to avoid that part. The photography part of it should be the part that you're most excited about rising to a challenge. And like, Carty challenged me to do this, so I'm going to go do that and send it into Carty and hear what he has to say. Not, I'm going to try to find something that fits what Carty's challenge is, and because I shot that 3 weeks ago, I'm going to hand that in. It's like, Mono, thanks for subscribing. So for me, like, that, it doesn't cut it. Like, I want new creation, not like remarketing something that I've seen a different edit of this for a different purpose that you handed in for a different assignment. It just doesn't work. So Malik, try harder and shoot more shit. Don't send me stuff that I've seen already. This is Mira shooting with an R6, 85 millimeter. Shot at f3.5, 1/25 of a second at ISO 500. Shot with natural light and a silver reflector. This is Mira Lee. Mira, yes. 100% yes. No, yes, effing yes. Yes. A matter of fact, let's go. Yes, this is unequivocally high quality content, Mira. This is minimalism. This is an amazing magazine cover. This is an amazing magazine cover. And again, Mira, I'm turning you into an assassin. Look at this as an 8x10. The gray on white on gray is tremendous. This, I would cut her hair a little bit. Like, that's how I would do the 8x10. Could have given her just a little bit more breathing room, but I'm not complaining, because this crop, I love this crop. You have lots of space between the shoulders, lots of space between the hand, good headroom, but not over headroom. Like, Mira, this is so good. So good. So good. One of my favorite of the day. This is, and again, Mira, just so you guys know at home, this is Mira's website. Now, Mira's one of the photographers who's in ProLab, so I coach her. I teach her the Carty method, and I teach her the ways of the Jedi. Like, I'm looking at this and then looking at this and saying, does this fit into this portfolio? It's yes. Does this fit into this Yes. Does this fit into this portfolio? Yes. Oh, yes. This fits into here. And in fact, Mira, this is such a strong photo that I'm going to ask you to recreate this crop, this thing that they're sitting on, what lens you're using. Like, I want you to do this again. This is a repeatable photograph, and the light, everything is just, this is unequivocally an 11. Let's see if my heart rate is like, let's see if I'm having a heart attack right now. 99 BPM. Actual heart rate, by the way. No AI. All right, Mira, well done. Well done. That was Mira Lee. All right, this is Ivan Kostov. Kostov. Ivan shoots with a Panasonic S3 with an 85 millimeter. He shot this at 1/40th of a second at f4, we thinks, at ISO 400. Shot natural light. This is Ivan Kostov. Ivan, let's have a look. Ivan, this is a vibe as far as minimalism. I really like your background choice. Again, keep in mind, I'm judging these photographers against themselves. This is great. I love this minimal background. Obviously, what he's wearing and who you're shooting, the more experience you... Again, for me, this is... And I want you to hear this. This is a repeatable image. I want you to repeat this picture at least 50 times with 50 different faces, because this is a little cold, meaning the white balance, it's a little bit blue. So I would love to see this a little bit more warm. A little bit more warm. But Ivan, for you, for this location choice, I've been on you as far as picking the wrong location, which you've been doing for quite a while. This is the beginning of you picking the right one. So for that, I'm giving you an 11. I'm really looking forward to you working through the process of making this portrait like an 11 out of 10 every single time. But you heard me. I want you to make this same portrait at least 20 more times. At least 20 more times. Ivan, if you didn't feel it, that is an 11 out of 10. Okay? Congratulations, Ivan. You're doing very well, bro. And again, I'm hard on you because what you're trying to do is vast and great. And it's like you're trying to be in the NBA. It's like you're trying to be in the NFL, or you're trying to be a pro hockey player. Like, being a pro photographer it's like being in the show. You're in the show. So in order to be in the show, you have to be like just so undeniable. And that's what I try to coach, is undeniability. Let's look at our last photo of the day. This is from Calligraphy. This was shot with a Nikon Z8 with an 85 millimeter f2 at 50th of a second at ISO 200, shot with a single Westcott. This is Calligraphy. Calligraphy, thanks for submitting. So for me, a little too snapshotty. Head back is the first thing that I see. Is he's all neck, no chin. He has no chin because he's pulling his head back. The smile is like kind of goofy, which makes me, and the way that he's holding his camera, it's like there's no cool factor here. This feels a little goofy. And as far as like a minimalist assignment, and as far as the kind of photographs that you make that like make the people that you shoot cool, like I want you to look at cool factor in your photos. Cool factor. Great light, the right person, the right pose, cool. And then this. Does that have the same hit that this has? They're wearing the same shirt, but what hits harder? So like that's the first thing. And then if you're looking now at the rest of your photographs as far as guys, like this hits hard. And this guy, it's like he's tough. But when we look here, it's like smiley. So it just, we can't shoot guys like that. We can't shoot, because guys want to be seen like with a certain swagger, which this, again, look at the head angle here. The head angle pushed out. He has like a strong jawline. Like he's pushing his head forward and out. And then when someone doesn't do it and they're pulling their head back, it just, again, it doesn't hit. Like, bro, you can play this game as far as I said that photographers have to smile. Bro, come on. I said you have to be approachable. You can't have like fucking tough guy look on your face like you're trying to like mean mug people away. But this is taking it to another level. And again, calligraphy, do whatever you like. Do whatever you like. It doesn't matter to me. Do whatever you like. You know, but if you're going to play this game back and forth and say like, you said do this, so this is my version of that. Cool beans, bro. Cool beans. It hurts you. It doesn't hurt me. So again, personally, I feel like you've been out of your element for a minute. You've been out of like the pocket and like for a minute, and it's affecting the work, it's affecting the ideas, it's affecting everything. And I haven't seen you shoot anything for so long that makes me go, whoa. Everything I'm seeing, I'm just like, dude, you're half in it. Half. You're not all the way in it. And again, it's like I'm all the way in it. So, but I'm trying to help you. But it's like you have to do all the work, which is make the work and come up with strong ideas that compete with the work in your portfolio. So is this going in your portfolio? Is this going in your portfolio? This picture. Is this going in there? Like, personally, I don't think so. I don't think his teeth are white enough. I don't think that he's the character that you're trying to use your website to promote. He's also using like a beginner camera. You know what I mean? So he's holding, and then the way that he's holding it with the zoom lens, it just looks like he's not even a photographer. It just looks like he's pretending. So this is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be the top 1%. And how we get there is by being like fucking ruthless when it comes to who we choose to be in front of our camera. So we have to be ruthless because our portfolio is all that we have. Our portfolio, this collection of photographs that we show that represents us, this is all that we have to build trust. And you're only as strong as your weakest image. As soon as an image creates doubt, well, then you're not getting hired. And why let images out that create doubt? That's my take. So this is a no, calligraphy. Sorry to be so dry, but again, like don't like try to use the words that I say in my suggestions, like smile. I'm not meaning, it's just, you know, I'm happy to be here. You know, it's like a different kind of like approachable and like likable. Once you go into like, well, now it's hokey, you know? So again, you have to have your own cheese meter. If you don't have a cheese meter, then you're going to shoot cheese and people are going to call you on it. So this is cheese. And again, I won't tolerate it, and I won't tolerate it in your portfolio, and neither will clients. So you have to edit that stuff out of your vernacular. All right, that is Calligraphy Ridgely. It's hard to put your photos up. But at the same point, you need to. You need to hear, thank you very much, Dogtown Mike. I appreciate you. Know that, like, having a feedback loop, having someone tell you like you're on the right track or you missed the boat, like we all need that. We all do. Let's get into photos of the week, starting with your first photographer that killed it this week. This is Jessica Mendez. Jessica, photo of the week. And I want you to look at the photographers that are winning photos of the week this week, and like minimalism, your niche, minimalist. Okay. And I'm also judging these photographers against themselves. So I also know, like, for the people who are new, I'm also watching you as well. But for the people who are new, who missed the boat, who might have been taking pictures today instead of making pictures, you can see, like, this isn't a joke. This is literally Harvard, like the Harvard of photography. You can't come in like high school. We're trying to do this for reals. All right. And you can't talk your way out of a bad idea. You just can't. Definitely not with me. All right. So let's get into our next, again, photos of the week. I'm judging these photographers against themselves. Our next photographer who wins photo of the week is Mr. Sonny Warren. Sonny, congratulations. That might be your first photo of the week. Again, I want you to notice everything that I noticed about this frame for the next time that you're shooting. Cool? Very well done. That is Sonny Warren. All right, who's next on the photo of the week train? This photographer right here. This photographer stopped the scroll, wins photo of the week for this picture. This is, how do I get this name right? Okay, there we go. This, oh my goodness, no. Where'd my photos go? Here you go. Mr. Roberto Carlos with this photo. That's a photo of the week, buddy. Roberto Carlos. Congratulations, Roberto. It's a photo of the week. Very, very, very strong photo in the minimalist section. Very good. That is Roberto Carlos, plus 2 more last names. This next photographer, again, I break this guy's balls, but he can fucking shoot. This is Jim Sinicki. Jim, photo of the week. Buddy, I can't wait until you're as insane with poses as I am. Can't wait till you're as insanely confident with posing people as I am, because you're really good. This is a lovely photo. And also, my guy, I want you to try hard light, lighting faces. Yes, soft light, blah, 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 blah. But like hard light, it's very 2026, bro. Hard light, like raw light, like you're shooting in direct sun, and you can put direct sun anywhere you want. You can place it exactly. That's how I want you to think about lighting with raw light, or just an 8-inch or 7-inch reflector. Everybody, this is Jim Sinicki. That's a photo of the week, Jim. Well done. All right, next on the docket. Again, photos of the week are hard, man. Photos of the week are hard. This photographer was so close, I'm giving it to her. This is Denise Tuggle. Denise. Yes, Denise. Yes, Denise. Minimalist. The thing is that you learned something this week. Roberto Carlos. Sorry, Roberto. Carlos Roberto, if I'm mixing it up. Miss Denise Tuggle, yes. Again, you heard the review. You saw all the things that I saw, but still your photo holds up for a photo of the week. This next guy, photo of the week from this photographer who just improved. This is Jim McDonald with a photo of the week. Jim, minimalist. Yes. Jim, I have such high expectations from you, bro. And believe me, I'm not going to stop shaking you. I have such high expectations from you, but this is the beginning of something. So I'm proud of you, bro. Good shit. Photos of the week. Let's see how many more there are. Photos of the week. We got 2 more photos of the week. The next photo of the week goes to the one and only Miss Myra. Sorry, it's Mira. Mira Lee. Let's get it on, Mira. Mira Lee with photo of the week in the minimalist category. Mira, this is a yes, 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 yes. Mira Lee in the minimalist category. And our last and final photo of the week, as I say, I am judging these photographers against themselves. What this photographer this week learned is something very critical about light and location. This photographer, who is our last and final photo of the week, is Mr. Ivan Kotsov. Ivan, photo of the week, my guy, congratulations. You put something together here. You learned something. And like, again, putting 2 and 2 together. Thanks, Sherry, for subscribing. I appreciate you, girl. So you put something together this week. Know that like Portfolio Lab there's nothing like this on the internet. There's nobody who's doing this. There's nobody who's coaching photographers in this way. And if you're a photographer, if you're at home, you're the best photographer that all your friends and all your friends' friends know. You're the best one. So it's great for your ego, but when you come up against someone like me, you're like, okay, I thought I knew a lot about photography, but I realized like, holy shit, there's a lot of gaps. Like, I'm here to fill the gaps. And I'm also here to help you make the right work, because 90% of photographers are making the wrong work. They're making work that serves their ego. Oh, they're shooting birds. They're shooting street photography. They're shooting candids of people like from behind, like walking down the street. Like, they're not bringing value with their camera, and nobody's going to hire you to do those kinds of photos. So spending any time making photos that you call practice, but that practice is going nowhere. Like, if you're trying to be in the NBA, practice would be free throws, right? And you know you're getting better by just having a basketball in your hand and being on the court and throwing free throws, right? Photography is no different. Like, practice for basketball, because you're trying to be on the NBA, is not being at the golf course and shooting putts, because it's not basketball. So that's the same thing as far as when you're shooting a different thing every day because you don't want to be tied down and all this other bullshit that I hear from photographers. Like, it's all just excuses, where the real is specializing is a commitment. It's hard, and competition is fierce. I'm scared, so I'm just gonna do what I want and know at some point this is gonna become the world's most expensive hobby and I'm gonna drop out. Good. It's better for us photographers who take this shit way more seriously. So I try to attract the photographers that want to be like Irving Penn or Richard Avedon or Helmut Newton. Helmut Newton died on a photo shoot for Vogue when he was 76 years old or 74 years old. He died in a car accident. Like, shooting for Vogue. Like, that's how I plan to go out. Like, this is not a career that you retire from. This is a lifer. So, James Henry, thank you for your generosity. As you can see, the light, the color changing and all of that stuff is all for you because you just donated $5 of your hard-earned money. All of this happens when you do such generous, kind gestures, and you just changed my light color. And yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you, James. And I just put your name right here, and I'm doing it again. Thank you, James Henry, for the $5. So listen, I hold no punches, and whether you listen to me or not doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't care. Because I'm already doing what you're trying to do. I've been doing it for 35 years. I've shot magazine covers. I've shot for Vogue. I've shot more celebrities than I can count. So I'm doing what you're trying to do. I'm probably a pretty good person to listen to. And also on YouTube, I've done the research. There is no photographer on YouTube that has the kind of resume that I do. None. Zero. So they're trying to teach you how to run a photography business, but it's like, what if they shot 3 weddings and they have a YouTube channel and they're telling you how to be a photographer? Okay, good luck if you're listening to them. So I am authentic and real, and I have no time to tell stories or tell lies. So I tell you the truth. And the truth is the most direct way between two paths, the truth. So I tell you the truth. Sometimes it's hard to hear, but if you listen to the truth and you learn, wow, when I shoot, I kind of am a little bit too close. So then now you shoot a little bit looser and you see what that now enables you to do with your photography. And you're like, oh my God, what if I never learned to shoot a little bit looser? Like, you're learning things here, like shooting wide open. Like, how many times you hear me like, oh my God, fucking stop shooting wide open. Stop it. Like, stop it. Your photos are all out of focus. And every time someone tells me, oh, I shot this at f2.8 or f like 1.2 or f 1.4, I'm like, perfect. I'm about to look at an out of focus photo. That's what I say. And then I look and boom, it's out of focus. And people watch me during this show and then they shoot wide open. I have f2 lenses, f1.2 lenses, f1.4 lenses. Like, I have mostly L series, super expensive glass, and I don't shoot wide open. So don't shoot wide open. And again, the over 100 people who are watching me right now, if I bring you any kind of value, if you're feeling what I'm talking about, what I'm putting down, thank you, by the way, everybody who just subscribed, do that as well. Like, it's free to hit the subscribe button. I just crossed to 148,000 subscribers. I've gained over like 22 to 25,000 subscribers in the last 12 months. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and I can't get there without you. I can't get there without you talking about my channel, talking about my attitude and the way that, like, I just give it to you straight and there's nobody like me on YouTube. Like, talk about that. Like, that helps me more than you can imagine. Make clips of my content, share me to social media, like follow my Instagram account. I'm at Steve Carty on Instagram, or follow the Carty method. And the Carty method is your work, meaning Portfolio Lab members who submit the photo of the week winners show up on our Instagram, and they show up in the Carty Method magazine, which I send out every Friday. So next week is an open submission, meaning week 10, next week, Wednesday by midnight, I want you to submit something that you're considering for your portfolio. So next week is an open submission. You can submit anything, although your bar better be high, because you know mine is, and you can't put fake tits on a bull and me think that it's going to be sexy. You just can't. So there is no talking yourself out of bad photography. This is when you pull out all the stops and you do the research. So open submission is next week. And then week 11, I want to see your take on a magazine cover, which means I want you to create a magazine cover image that demands attention, that stops the scroll, and that demonstrates your commercial intent. That means text, space, brand alignment, visual hierarchy, like how high your head is in the fold. Like, all of this stuff is important. The full brief is inside community, but week 11, which is not next week, but the week after, I want to see vertical magazine covers. I make these assignments very true to life, like the kind of assignments you would shoot if you were hired for a magazine. I've shot for Vogue. I've shot for tons of magazines and editorials and billboards and all of that stuff. Like, there's no higher frequency of photography than print, which is why you see me lay out horizontal overlays, and this is what your picture would look like as a cover, and this is what your picture would look like as. The reason that I do this is to teach you that everything that you shoot that's vertical should be shot like a cover, and everything that you shoot horizontally should be shot like it's 2 pages in a magazine. If you do that, well, then photo editors, art directors, advertising agencies, they see that you understand how to shoot for print, which raises your stock. The average photographer hasn't opened a magazine ever. The average photographer, just so you know, is a fucking hack. And it's so easy to beat those photographers and you be the one that's making the $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year just because you pay attention to the kind of details that I do. Just because your standards are higher than most, like mine are, and you compare your work to magazine level work, not just other shit that you see on the internet. Because, by the way, there's no filter for putting something on the internet, but there is a huge filter for what goes on the cover of Vogue. So if you look at what goes on the cover of Vogue and you see that the things that repeat and the photographers that continually get hired, and then you look at those photographers and then you see what their portfolios look like and the kind of work that they make, and then you try to make that work and that type of work, do you not think that you're making a faster track to Vogue than you shooting what you want to shoot? Just saying. There's one route to being a professional photographer, and that is having somebody who's a professional photographer guide you. If you don't have someone like how many Olympic athletes make it to the Olympics without a coach? How many do you think? 0? How many pro athletes make it to the NBA without a great coach? So photographers, how many pro photographers make it to the top 1% without having an art director, a designer, a photo editor, another photographer who's further than them that they're buddies with, that they jam ideas back and forth with all day? Like, those photographers are the photographers that are top 1%. The ones that talk and they share their work and they get shit on and they shit on other people. And it's like, it just makes you tougher. Makes you tougher. And again, I'm trying to make people have thicker skin. Photographers sometimes are like snowflakes. Trust me, photographers are fucking snowflakes. Like, if I'm oh my God, my feelings, you hurt my feelings about my, it's like, bro, fuck your feelings about your photo. It's not about that. It's about bringing value to other people with your camera. If you have emotional attachment to a single image, one client is like, no, that doesn't work. And you're going to go, oh yeah, and then go cry in a corner. Like, man up. You have to. There's no other way. All right, guys, that's enough for me. I'm going to see you on Saturday for the next Carte Method podcast. My Sunday podcasts have been absolutely insane. All of them getting well over 1,000 views, and usually in the first day. My podcast is crazy. Please show up for Sunday at noon, the Carte Method podcast, where I'm going to be talking about the art of making money with your camera. I only talk about the business of photography there. I do photo reviews every Thursday here and every Tuesday on Zoom for Portfolio Lab members. They get to hang out with me, ask me questions, and listen to a presentation that I put together for them every single week. Guys, that's been me. Again, if you want to find me, I'm easy to find. I'm at Steve Carty on all the social media platforms, at Steve Carty on Instagram. You can follow the Carte Method simply by going to cartemethod.com. You can go to the Carte Method on Instagram. And also, if you want to be a part of this, be a part of what I'm doing, go to the Carte Method and sign up for Portfolio Lab. It's the fastest way for you to go from 0 to hero with your portfolio. I hope today brought you value. Thanks for being here. Thank you to everybody who subscribed today. I appreciate you all.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.